What if your life, everything you know, everything you feel, is just one scene in a much larger story? What if this story began long before you were born and continues long after your final breath? Imagine your soul as an eternal traveler, moving through lifetimes like chapters in a book. And in between these chapters, there is a place, a realm not bound by time or space, a dimension that mystics, visionaries, and those who have touched death describe with awe, reverence, and wonder. This place is often called the spirit world, a space between lives where the soul rests, reflects, heals, and prepares. It's not a fantasy or a dream. Many who have undergone deep spiritual regressions or near-death experiences report vivid memories of it. Their descriptions, coming from different cultures and beliefs, often overlap, suggesting that this realm is not imagined but deeply real. But if such a world exists, why don't we remember it? The answer lies in what many call the veil of forgetting. This veil gently falls over us as we're born, helping us forget where we came from so we can fully immerse ourselves in the human experience. It allows us to grow without the weight of past lifetimes, to choose freely, and to meet each challenge as if it were for the first time. In this video, we'll part that veil, just for a moment, and take a glimpse beyond. What happens when we die? Where does the soul go? What does it do between lifetimes? Death, for many, is the greatest unknown. Yet countless people who have come close to it, or temporarily crossed over, describe the moment of transition with surprising clarity and calm. It usually begins with a sudden shift in perception. The body may still lie in pain or stillness, but the soul feels light, detached, and fully aware. Many say they float above their physical form, looking down at it with a sense of curiosity or even compassion, but without fear or pain. There's often no panic, just an overwhelming sense of peace, as if the soul remembers that this moment is not the end, but the beginning of a return. And then, the movement, a gentle pulling, as if drawn by something invisible, yet deeply familiar. Many describe passing through a tunnel or a corridor of light, soft, warm, and comforting. It's not a place in the physical sense, but more like a passage of consciousness. At the end of it, a light begins to glow, not blinding, but radiant. It feels alive, intelligent, and impossibly loving. This light has been described in ancient texts, modern testimonies, and deep spiritual regressions. For some, it appears as a presence, for others, as a doorway. But almost all who have seen it agree. It feels like home. In that moment, the soul begins to let go of the earthly identity it once carried. Not with sadness, but with a sense of freedom. The worries, fears, and pains of the material world begin to fall away, like a garment no longer needed. What comes next is not loneliness, but a reunion. As the soul fully enters the spirit world, it is rarely alone. Many describe being greeted almost immediately by familiar, comforting presences, beings that radiate unconditional love, wisdom, and peace. These are not strangers, though their forms may vary, sometimes appearing as light, sometimes as vaguely human figures. The soul instantly recognizes them on a deeper level. They are spirit guides, soul companions, or even loved ones from previous lifetimes who have remained in the non-physical realm. Their presence is deeply reassuring. There are no words, yet communication flows effortlessly. Thoughts, emotions, and images are exchanged in an instant, as if speaking heart to heart, soul to soul. There is no judgment, only welcome. These guides are often described as ancient, kind, and endlessly patient. They have walked with the soul through many lifetimes, acting as mentors and guardians. In this moment of return, they help orient the soul, gently reminding it of its true identity, far beyond the name and personality it carried in the last incarnation. Some describe this as a kind of spiritual debriefing, not formal, but warm and loving. The soul may be shown glimpses of where it's been, what it's learned, and what it has left to explore. There is often a sense of relief, of finally remembering who you are, and knowing that you are deeply loved and supported. This encounter marks the beginning of a powerful journey of reflection, healing, and preparation, a journey that continues deeper into the spirit world. One of the most profound experiences reported by those who return from near-death states or deep spiritual regressions is the life review. This is not a judgment or punishment. There is no divine courtroom, no condemnation. Instead, it is a gentle but incredibly powerful reflection, a panoramic review of the life just lived. The soul watches key moments from its earthly existence unfold, but not just from its own perspective. It experiences these moments from the point of view of others involved. Every word spoken, every act of kindness or harm is felt in full emotional depth. The soul feels what others felt: joy, pain, confusion, love. Imagine comforting someone, and in the review, feeling the warmth and healing your presence brought them, or saying something cruel and feeling the sting it left in their heart. Not to shame you, but to understand, to awaken deeper compassion. This process is not meant to punish. It is a tool for growth. It allows the soul to see the consequences of its choices with full clarity, but without ego. There is no lying, no justifying, only truth, seen through the eyes of pure awareness. Guides or higher beings are often present during this review. They do not lecture or criticize. They support the soul with unconditional love, helping it recognize where it grew and where it still longs to grow. Through this sacred process, the soul begins to understand the deeper purpose of its last life, what lessons were offered, what missions were fulfilled, and what might still remain unresolved. It's a moment of both accountability and healing. And once it's complete, the soul is ready to rest, to reconnect, and to begin preparing for what comes next. After the life review, the soul enters a period of rest and reconnection. It no longer carries the burdens of the physical body or the emotional weight of its last incarnation. This is a sacred time, a spiritual homecoming. Many describe the spirit world as a place of light, sound, and vibration, not physical in the way we understand, but more real than anything experienced on Earth. Landscapes may appear, but they respond to thought and emotion. Some see gardens, halls of learning, or vast spaces filled with luminous beings. Others feel immersed in a field of energy, peace, and love. This is where the soul recharges. It may reconnect with its soul group, other spirits it has traveled with across many lifetimes. These souls are companions in growth, learning, and mutual support. The bonds between them run deeper than family ties on Earth. Encounters are marked by joy, laughter, and a deep sense of being seen, known, and loved completely. In this realm, the soul also has access to knowledge about itself, about the universe, and about spiritual truths too vast to comprehend while in human form. There are places of learning where souls can study their past experiences, explore the consequences of certain actions, or even prepare for new skills needed in a future life. Some souls choose to remain in this world for what seems like a long time, while others return to incarnation sooner. Time, as we know it, doesn't exist there. Everything flows in cycles of readiness, growth, and inner calling. This phase is deeply restorative. It reminds the soul of its essence, its path, and its infinite potential. And slowly, the awareness begins to arise. There is more to be done. Another journey awaits. At some point during its stay in the spirit world, the soul begins to feel a pull, a subtle but undeniable desire to return. Not out of duty, but out of growth. There are still lessons to learn, experiences to have, love to give, and karma to balance. This is when preparation for the next incarnation begins. Contrary to how it may seem from the human perspective, our lives are not random. Souls take part in designing many key aspects of their next journey. This includes choosing the general circumstances of the upcoming life: family, body, location, and major challenges. These decisions are made not with ego, but with deep spiritual intention. A soul may choose to be born into poverty, illness, or hardship, not as punishment, but to develop compassion, strength, or forgiveness. Others may choose lives of ease in order to focus on relationships, creativity, or service. Each path is unique, and each is sacred. One of the most profound aspects of this planning is the formation of soul contracts, agreements made between souls before incarnation. A soul might agree to be a parent, a child, a friend, or even an adversary in someone else's life. These roles are accepted out of mutual love and the desire to help one another grow. Not every detail of a life is fixed. There is still free will. But the major themes, lessons, and opportunities are chosen in advance, like the framework of a grand play in which the soul will act out its part. Guides and higher beings assist in this process. They offer insight, suggestions, and support, ensuring that the soul's choices align with its long-term evolution. Once everything is in place, the circumstances chosen, the contracts agreed upon, the soul prepares for re-entry. And then, the most mysterious step occurs. The soul accepts the veil once again. It agrees to forget its eternal nature, to step into the density of human life, so that it may grow in ways only Earth can offer. To us, life may seem filled with chance, but to the soul, every meeting, every struggle, every joy, it all fits into a greater plan. Perhaps the most puzzling part of the soul's journey is this: if we truly are eternal beings who choose our lives and make sacred agreements before birth, why don't we remember? The answer lies in what many traditions call the veil of forgetting. As the soul prepares to enter a new body, this veil gently descends, obscuring the memory of previous lives and the spirit world. It is not a punishment, it is a gift. For if we remembered everything, every past life, every pain, every failure, every loss, we would be overwhelmed. Our choices would no longer be free. They would be driven by what we already knew, instead of what we are here to discover. The veil allows the soul to fully immerse itself in the human experience, to face challenges without the safety net of cosmic memory, to learn empathy not as a concept, but as a hard-won truth. And yet, even with the veil, traces remain. Faint echoes, moments when something in us knows, a deep longing we can't explain, a wisdom that feels older than our years. Some glimpses do break through, during dreams, meditations, déjà vu, or spontaneous past life memories. And for a few, through deep spiritual practices or regression therapy, more of the soul's story may be revealed. But for most of us, the forgetting is total. And that's exactly how it was meant to be. Even though the veil is strong, it is not impenetrable. Throughout life, the soul sometimes sends subtle reminders, whispers from the other side that stir something deep within us. A sense of familiarity when meeting someone new, a dream that feels more real than waking life, a moment of déjà vu so powerful it stops us in our tracks. These are not coincidences. They are fragments, brief flashes of memory, of the world between lives, slipping through the cracks in the veil. Some people feel a deep, unexplainable longing for home, though they can't say where home is. Others have vivid memories from childhood of places they've never been, or names they've never heard, only to discover connections that defy logic. There are also those who meet someone for the first time and instantly feel as if they've known them forever. These could be soul contracts playing out, reunions in disguise, intuition, synchronicities, a sudden knowing that doesn't come from logic. These may all be the soul trying to remind us, you are more than this moment. You are on a path you once chose. You are never alone. In these quiet moments, the spirit world reveals itself, not with loud declarations, but with gentle nudges, calling us to remember. So, what does all of this mean for us, here and now? If the soul is eternal, if we truly live many lives, if we are lovingly guided and part of a greater plan, then perhaps our struggles, our joys, our questions, all take on a deeper meaning. You are not here by accident. The people in your life, the challenges you face, the desires that stir your heart, they were not randomly assigned. They are part of a path your soul helped shape, long before you were born. And though you may not remember the world between lives, it remembers you. Your guides are still with you. Your soul family watches from beyond the veil. The love that surrounds you there never left. This life is not a test, but an opportunity, a sacred adventure of forgetting and remembering, of falling and rising, of learning how to love through limitation. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's messy, but it is also profound. So take heart. The pain you feel now is not forever. The story you're living is not the whole story. And one day, when this chapter ends, you will awaken in that luminous realm again. You will be welcomed, embraced, and gently reminded of who you truly are. Not a body, not a name, but a soul, eternal, evolving, and deeply, endlessly loved. Behind the veil is not the end, it is home.